buried alive by her stepmother. The young alien girl's sob pierced the heart of a human far away. The twin suns of Viridia dipped behind jagged cliffs, spreading the heavens in streams of gold. And Violet, as Lyra, a fragile alien child no taller than a human toddler, crept through the shadowy halls of her stepmother's compound. Her lavender skin glimmered faintly in the dim glow, and her wide silver eyes carried both terror and a stubborn spark of resolve. Her stepmother, Vishara, was a ruthless woman, sharp in instinct and sharper in temper, and Lyra knew that this night would decide her fate. She had been falsely accused of stealing a sacred crystal from the vault. Vishara's name was feared for her merciless punishments, and her voice echoed all day in Lyra's ears, cold and venomous. "You'll learn obedience, little parasite," she hissed, her claws scraping the wall as she circled the shivering child. Now deep inside the storage tunnels, Lyra's trembling fingers dug at the loose sandy soil, the faint glow of her hands lighting the shallow pit. Her breaths came short and jagged, bouncing off the steel walls. She didn't want to die, not here, not now, not like this. "Please, someone." "Anyone?" Her voice was fragile, nearly swallowed by the vast tunnels. Tears streaked her cheeks, dampening the dirt beneath her palms. Yet somewhere in her chest, a fragile spark of hope refused to die. Far away on another world, a human named Elias was making his way home from a long reconnaissance mission. He carried himself with the weight of a soldier who had survived too many suns and lost too many comrades. As he passed a craggy ravine, a strange, unnatural sound froze him. At first it was faint, barely different from the moan of the wind. A cry. His instincts flared. He stopped, listening harder. The sound came again, a pleading wail, small yet brimming with anguish. Elias bolted toward it, his chest pounding with a strange urgency. No protocol had ever prepared him for this. No map or chart could explain why a human heart would chase the cry of an alien child, but he ran anyway. Beneath the ground, Lyra's battle grew worse. Vishara had walked away, content in her cruel sentence, and the soil above pressed heavier with each moment. The air thickened with grit, each gasp more desperate than the last. Her hands scraped wildly, but the earth closed in. Fear tore through her as she grasped the truth. She was being buried alive. "Help, please," she sobbed, her words quivering on the edge of despair. She didn't know if anyone could hear, but somewhere inside, a faint belief whispered that someone somewhere would come. At that instant, Elias reached the summit of the ravine. Moonlight spilled over a mound of dirt, shifting unnaturally. Dropping to his knees, he clawed into the earth, sand sliding through his hands. The cries grew louder, sharper, and he knew he had found her. "Hold on, I've got you," Elias shouted, scooping the soil away as though he could outrun death itself. Lyra's silver eyes widened in disbelief as human hands broke through, pulling her upward. Instinct screamed for her to fear, but the warmth in his voice and the firm gentleness in his grip shattered her terror. He lifted her free, and she gasped, choking but alive. Elias cradled her against his chest, whispering softly, "You're safe now." Though foreign, his words soothed her trembling heart. She clung to him, feeling a bond form in that instant, stronger than fear itself. At the ravine's edge, Elias studied the ground, noticing the traces of cruelty left behind. His jaw tightened. "Who did this to you?" he asked, in a frail voice. Lyra spoke of Vishara's wrath and jealousy. Elias's heart hardened with resolve. Justice could not wait. Over the days that followed, Elias gave her shelter and safety. At first they spoke with gestures, then pieced together broken words from both tongues. Slowly, Lyra began to smile, to laugh, to dream. Again, she discovered humans could be protectors, while Elias learned courage came in many forms, even in the smallest of voices. But Vishara's shadow stretched far, and her anger never cooled. She sought to hunt Lyra down, yet the bond between the alien child and the human soldier had already grown into an unbreakable shield of trust, loyalty, and care. Lyra's cries, once drenched in despair, had become a song of hope, a call that had been heard. One dawn, as the twin suns rose and bathed the land in gold, Lyra stood at Elias's side, her tiny hand brushing his armor. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice delicate yet powerful. Elias knelt, meeting her gaze with a smile. "No, little one. You saved me too." Sometimes it takes the quietest voice to awaken the greatest heart. And in that still moment, beneath the warmth of dawn and the whisper of alien winds, a human and an alien child forged a bond that defied cruelty, fear, and distance. Lyra had been buried alive, but her cry had reached another soul. In that call, she found life, hope, and a protector who would never abandon her.